Welcome everyone to a NeuroMandala today. I have been very excited to start teaching this particular algorithm because it works with rainbow colors and I am a fan of rainbow colors. I like colors. Also, we are working mainly with circles. So some of you know that there are other figures as well that we work with in Neurographica. And the main reason why we work with the circle is because the circle is the figure that brings us harmony. The circle is a figure that is whole in itself. You know, if you kind of just think about a circle, it's just like the beginning meets the end, everything is whole and perfect. The circle is the only perfect geometric figure that we find in nature, which is very interesting. Now we can see circles, the sun, the moon, flowers, we see circles all around. So it's a very natural and, as I said, very harmonious figure that brings us into harmony as well. Oh yeah, there's going to be a recording of this, and the recording is going to be on my YouTube channel, and I will send it out to everyone as well. So you will receive the recording. Now I want to just introduce very briefly what this NeuroMandala is about. Probably most of us by now have seen mandalas, and there are many different forms of it. Mandala is yeah, the way I first learned it was actually from like Indian and Tibetan, mostly Buddhist traditions, but there's also other traditions that use mandala, and it is a art form that is in itself a meditation. I was fortunate to actually witness a sand mandala once, which was very interesting. For like, I think 4 or 5 days, there were, I think, 2 or 3 monks creating the sand mandala in this very just, I don't know, the whole space was very calm and meditative, and they were just putting these tiny little sand corns onto a surface, creating this intricate picture with it. And then on the last day, they swept it all away, and it kind of represented the cycle of life in a way, this beginning, the building, and the ending. And I still have a little bag of that sand that I keep. I'm not sure if you're supposed to keep it, but for me it was a very special one. So mandala can represent the cycle of life. That is something that in many religious traditions and many spiritual traditions is associated with mandala. And it is a cycle, a circle of life. It's always something whole. It encompasses everything. Now, the way we work with mandala in Neurographica actually is a little bit more modern. Pavel Piskarev, the founder of Neurographica, he's a psychologist, and he is, I'm going to say, influenced by Carl Gustav Jung. So a lot of Pavel's work actually builds on Jung's work. And Carl Gustav Jung, he was obsessed with mandalas. He was one of the first Westerners that brought mandala, the idea of mandala, into our world, so to say, in the form of a personal mandala. So whereas in the spiritual traditions, mandala represents something overarching, it represents all of life. The mandala that Carl Gustav Jung was using is a mandala of your life. He brought it onto a personal level. He was drawing mandalas a lot with his patients. And if anybody's seen the Red Book of Carl Gustav Jung, there's a bunch of mandalas in there that is really interesting. So Pavel took this idea of the personal mandala. So the mandalas that we are drawing, many of them will be personal. And he took it onto um, another level by including the chakras. As I said, we're going to use rainbow colors that are also known as the chakra colors. Chakras is another concept, another idea, another wisdom from Eastern traditions, specifically from India, where it's said that we have energetic wheels. No, they're considered wheels of energy. They're moving parts of energy inside our body that radiate out, and they are associated with different colors. So Pavel brings these two together in the NeuroMandala course, and that's what we're going to work with. So yeah, I just want to do a short introduction. I'm going to just look at this comment that was here. That's nice. There was a show where monks made a sand mandala. Someone asked the monks how they could spend all that time making it and then sweep it away. The monk replied, "The pleasure comes from the doing, not the have done." So we're going to take that in, and really I invite you to experience the drawing just like that. Experience the pleasure of the doing. It's not important what's there at the end. It's important how you experience the drawing, how you especially experience the different colors. And yeah, it's the perfect quote for today. So to begin with, as I always like to do, many of you know that, I would like for us to tune in. Since we are working with a personal mandala today and with the chakras, I thought it would just fit perfectly to feel into our chakras, feel kind of this connection between the body, our energy, and then bringing it onto the paper in the form of colors. So I invite you to make yourself comfortable on your chair. Make sure that your spine is upright. You can, however, move. Like, it doesn't have to be stiff, it can be flexible, but hopefully upright. And it's good if your feet touch the ground. Place your feet firm onto the ground, and if it feels comfortable, you are invited to lightly close your eyes or let your gaze just go down. And then let's take a few deep breaths to begin. Just arriving in the here and now. And with your breath, you can let go of anything that happened before now, breathing it in and releasing it. And anything that might come later that might pull your attention away from this moment, breathing it in and letting it go. And settling into the space where you are right now, feeling your feet on the ground, and just bringing your attention all the way down into your feet, feeling the soles of your feet, the top of your feet, your ankles, and relaxing your feet. There's nowhere to go right now. Relaxing your legs, your knees, your hips and pelvic area, and just breathing down, breathing into the perineum, the space between the after and the sexual organs. And you can imagine a red, bright light down there. in the base of your spine, the base of your body, connecting you downward to the ground, feeling the heaviness of your body, feeling the materiality, the material of your body. And breathing there, connecting, and you can even imagine that you're growing roots down through your feet, through your perineum, through your legs down to the ground, anchoring yourself into the ground, into the earth. Really feeling this quality of groundedness. Grounded in your body, grounded in this material reality. And taking another deep breath there. And then I invite you to feel into your low belly, your low back. And imagining an orange light there. Bright, beautiful orange in your pelvic bowl. Shining, connecting you to your sexual organs, to your creative power, to this flow that's inside you, that seed that lives inside you. And grounding into it. And taking one more deep breath there. And then feeling into your solar plexus, your belly button. And imagine a bright yellow shining light like the sun in your belly. Breathing it in, connecting to your inner power. To that power that only you have, your unique qualities that make you special. And breathing into it, settling into it, giving yourself space. And being with this beautiful bright light or yellow one more moment. And then allow the energy to move up into your heart, letting it shine in a bright, wonderful green, like the sunlight shining through leaves. Allowing your heart to expand and open. You can feel like you're embracing the world and embracing all of yourself. And maybe there's a smile that wants to come into your face. Just feeling this loving energy, connecting to your inner love, Breathing into it, opening. And taking one more deep breath there with this beautiful green, and moving up into your throat with the bright sky blue, opening your throat, opening to your voice, the things that only you can share with the world, your expression, your words, your language, the sound of your voice. Breathing with it, making space for yourself. Oh, and maybe there's a sigh or a sound that wants to come out, just allowing anything to come up, any voice. Taking another deep breath into this beautiful green, into this beautiful blue, I mean. And then moving up to your third eye, the spot between your eyebrows, your forehead. Imagining a dark night blue, indigo. Deepening into your inner vision, connecting to your intuition, connecting deeper to yourself, your inner wisdom. And relaxing your face, allowing whatever vision wants to come in. Allowing yourself to see the things that only you can see. And breathing with it for a moment. Beautiful dark night sky blue. And then moving all the way to the top of your head. And you can imagine a dark purple flower opening. Opening your crown, opening your connection to the sky, to the universe, your spiritual connection to this world. You can imagine that you create a pole of light that opens up above your head and into your head, inviting the higher wisdom, your higher self, your spirit, and feeling into this beautiful purple light, violet color. And imagine that pool of light going all the way down now through your body, the center of your body, touching all the different chakras, the third eye, the throat, the heart, solar plexus, the sacral, and all the way down to the root, and even further down into the ground. You're standing now with a pool of light going through you, through your energy being. Only the highest energies are allowed to enter this channel and inform you. You are connected to the ground, you are connected to the sky, you are the channel of energy. Just breathing with it for a moment. Maybe you can feel the energy moving up and down in an exchange between heaven and earth, of which you are the channel. And taking another deep breath there, becoming aware of your body again, your physical body. If it feels good, you may want to wiggle your toes or start lightly moving your fingers or moving your head or any other part of your body. Just very lightly bringing your attention back into the here and now, into your body as you are sitting on your chair in your room. And breathing into that, into this present moment and how you are feeling yourself. And then I invite you to bring your hands together in front of your heart for a moment. Breathing into your heart. And then starting to rub your hands together, bringing the energy flow, the light, the blood flow, the warmth into your hands. Then place them over your eyes for a moment. And just feeling, the sensation of your hands and your eyes, connecting your inner vision, your eyes, your hands, and inviting anything that you need to see today, allowing your hands to guide you. And then you can start rubbing your face very lightly, waking yourself back up, coming back into this room. Allowing your hands to move over your head and to go wherever they need to go today. And then whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Okay, and so we are getting ready to draw. So as I said, today we will work with colors. I still have a lot of different black pens, my brush pen and different other beautiful pens and my beloved Sharpies. I wanted to start with a pencil actually, but I think I'm going to start with my just crappy pen so that you can see what I'm doing. You can start with a pencil if you want to. I'm making the first lines kind of thinner because they are just going to be our frame that we will work on then. And then, as I said, we're going to use these colored pencils or colors. So as I said, there's also other coloring materials possible. I really love to work with colored pencils, so yeah, you can work with whatever you have at hand. We will start with placing ourselves into the center of the picture with a small circle. And today I say small because we need the space. So I'm just going to make a small circle in the center here. And as always, circle does not have to be perfect. This is one of the things that is special about the NeuroMandala, Mandala is like a kind of perfectionist almost endeavor, but with NeuroMandala, we bring our own perfect imperfection into it. Now, what we're going to do, and in theory, you could also do that with a compass tool, but I like to do freehand. So I invite you to just try it freehand. If you want to repeat this later in a more perfectionist way, you are invited to do that. But for today, I invite you to just draw 7 circles around it. So we want to have 7 layers. And the reason why I like to do this freehand is because the way these turn out can already kind of inform me, tell me something. I'm just going to draw 7 layers around this first layer. They don't all have to be exactly the same. They will each be their own. And as I said, we're not trying to be perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 5. 6. And kind of just feeling into this expanding, how we are expanding ourselves with the help of these 7 layers. Okay, so I have a 7-layered circle now, and I will actually cut this one in halves. So I'm not going to touch my central circle, but these 7 I will divide so that I have 2 half circles. And now we're going to go straight into coloring. And as I said, it might be very unusual because usually in Neurographica we draw all kinds of lines and stuff. We will do that in a little bit. First, though, we will feel into the color. I invite you to start with red, and you can start on either side. And we will start with the outermost layer. So either on the left or on the right. I'm going to start on the right, but you can also start on the left. I will color the outer layer red. And this coloring doesn't have to be perfect either. This is more about feeling the color, feeling how it feels in your body, where it touches you. And we can go over this again later, but for now, I'm just going to do 1 layer. And then I do the next one in orange. And again, just feeling the color. It doesn't have to be perfect either. So my orange is going a little bit into the next circle, but that's absolutely fine. Here we just want to experience the color, and I'm going to continue with yellow. Oh yeah, it's visible. Nice. Interesting, my yellow one was a little bit thicker than the other ones. I can just become aware of that, kind of feel into that. Like, I need more power there, need more space for that one. And then we go into green. I invite you to just enjoy the colors. Next, we go into the light blue, sky blue. That one felt good. And then the dark blue, indigo, night blue. And finally, the purple. And then you can take a deep breath and just feel into yourself. Woo. I feel lit up now. Like my whole being is kind of activated one journey through. Now we will go into the other half and we will do it reverse. So here I will start with purple on the outside. I'm feeling into that. This is going to be much more purple. So here we go, the same rainbow, but the reverse order. Starting with purple, then going into the dark blue, and again, just enjoying the colors and whatever comes up, whatever your body, your emotions, your thoughts want to communicate. Just listening. And going into light blue. And you can, of course, also feel like what it's like when those meet, those two half circles. Those color energies. And then we go into green. One thing that I really love about this one is that the green is going to be the whole circle and the heart. And with this one, I really invite you to breathe into your heart and kind of feel how it unites the circle, like whole green. Yeah, I feel like I want to draw a lot more green. Maybe I do that after. And we go back into yellow. And orange. And finally, red. Okay, now you can enjoy all these colors for a moment. Now, the reason why we did that is Pavis says that those are the two ways that we meet the world. Either on the red, on the material plane, no kind of we meet the earth. No, we are here in our bodies. We do certain things. We are in contact with the world on a material level. We are material beings. We have this body. We do these things with our hand. And then on the other side, we can be involved in the world in a spiritual way. We can be in touch with the unseen. And this is what this purple represents. So we can kind of turn to the world in these two different ways, either with the material or with the spiritual. Now, I would like for you to just kind of let that sink in for a moment while we draw some neurographic lines. We will draw lines that go through the entire picture. So anyone who's taken the courses, we can draw some field lines. And they can touch the circles wherever they can want to touch them. And move through the circles in their own way. And go out on the other side wherever they gotta go out. We're just going to do that for a little bit, kind of just connecting to these two different sides of ourselves. You know, like we did in the meditation, connecting to our physical body and connecting to our spiritual side. And just exploring the space and this personal mandala with neurographic lines. I hope that everyone here knows what I'm talking about. If you have never done a Neurographica drawing before, you can just imagine lines that grow like roots, that have no pattern, no repetition, that are like the movement of nature. I like to really see it like a river flows or like a root grows. And then we have, in some places, lines meeting each other, lines meeting the circles, and there you can round a little bit, connecting them, just giving yourself time to explore these colors, these circles, and the space around. And for anyone who's completely new, I will also quickly just show a rounding. Imagining that I have two lines just connecting, then I have these points where the lines meet, where they create a cross, and rounding means that I will go around and create a connection here. I'm just going into the shapes in between and creating some rounding. And as I said, for anyone who's completely new, I always recommend my introductory videos. There you will learn all of that. In these pictures, we don't have to round everything, just so you know, it's not a must. You can just feel into where you want to create connection. And maybe there are spaces in here that become interesting, that become important. Really allowing your intuition to guide you while you explore this shape, these colors, these different layers. Okay, so I'm going to round just a little bit here and there. Since this whole algorithm is really about kind of harmonizing ourselves around as much as you need for yourself to feel harmonious. You want to kind of feel a harmonious flow in the picture. You can check in with your body, check in with your emotions, with your thoughts. Kind of just see what comes up. Do you have harmonious emotions, harmonious sensations, harmonious thought? And if not, then you may want to round just a little bit. And just connect to the image, connect to the shape, connect to where your lines are flowing. And as always, I want to invite everyone to remember to breathe, being with yourself. Really imagine that this is you. This is your energy that you are exploring right now. All your colors. Maybe there's some favorites. Maybe there's some colors that you don't really like. Just being with that, just exploring it without judging yourself. There's no right or wrong. No right or wrong way to explore this mandala. No right or wrong pathway. It's all just what shows up right now for you. Now, the next thing I would like for you to feel into, focus on, is the two outer colors, the red and the purple. Wherever you have the red and the purple, on which side, doesn't matter. Again, there's no right or wrong. But I would like for you to ask yourself, what parts of your life do you approach in this way? Well, I guess I missed some questions here. Are we not supposed to go through the circle in the middle? With the lines that we drew now, if they go through the circle in the middle, that's fine. I kind of didn't feel like doing that. This is something, if your intuition, if your hand just wanted to do that, that's absolutely fine. I like to leave this one free for some reason, but it's like if a line goes through it, that's okay. Yeah, so that's okay. And they can cross into the two halves, absolutely. Sorry, I saw these messages a little bit late. So I hope you just trusted yourself without me having to tell you. Okay, So now I would like to invite us to reflect on our life and imagine you can really look at your everyday life. How do you live your everyday life? Do you approach your life with your own material side or your spiritual side? And of course, there's going to be both. And I invite you to think about what parts of your life are you connecting with what energy? So, for example, I can say that um, when I teach, in a way, I approach that from a spiritual, um, from a spiritual level, because I trust that I will hopefully find the right words. So I'm going to create a circle here. And you can also look at your drawing and see if there are spaces for circles on either side. So on the left or the right, wherever it's connected. I have a lot of stuff kind of on the left happening and not so much on the right, which kind of can tell me that there are more things in my life that I approach with my own spiritual energy, or with my kind of, I'm going to just call it spiritual energy, with my non-material energy. And learning and teaching for me is one of them, because that's something that, I mean, I do stuff, but it's not, I don't experience it as doing anything in the material world. I act in kind of the spiritual world, in my own like understanding of it. This is how I feel about it. So just like looking at your life, where do you feel you are active on a material, really hands-on plane? And where do you feel you are connecting with life on a more spiritual level? I hope that makes sense. And as I said, you can also just look and see if there are spaces where it kind of looks like things are happening, and maybe a circle wants to be there. Oh, so apparently circles can overlap my circle. It's very interesting. And interestingly, this one goes all the way down to my heart, which again immediately tells me a story. So just really trusting your own hand. I absolutely didn't plan to do that, but it just wanted to do that. And now I can think about, what is that? What part of my life, what kind of activity maybe do I interact with on this level? I approach it in a spiritual way and it goes into my heart. It's kind of like a beautiful picture. You can name those circles as well. I always recommend to name them. It's kind of up to you if you want to write something into your drawing or not. And every time I do draw a circle, I want it to be connected to everything else. So I create connections wherever my circle crosses lines. I want to round those out. And spending some time with this one, listening to it. And this is really where we can listen. And breathing. And just exploring your own life and how you connect to this world. And of course, there are some things that I do at a very material level. And kind of, for me, it comes like gardening. Let's go into my gardening circle. Gardening is a very beautiful, down to earth kind of thing that involves me, involves my body, nurtures my body as well. You can ask yourself, like, how does it feel? How do these activities feel for you? Are they whole? Do they nurture you on this level, either spiritual or material? Of course, we all kind of need to be involved in both. You can add as many circles as feels right, small or big ones, really trusting your hand. And with everyone asking yourself, what is this? Which part of my life shows up here, wants to be seen, wants to be recognized? We're going to give this another maybe 2-3 minutes. Just connecting with all the things that want to show up. And there might even be things that involve both. Have this area up here that keeps calling my attention, so I'm going to connect to it. Ooh, and again, it wants to be a bigger circle than I thought. It wants to go all the way to the heart area again. Now I can think about it. What in my life needs both energies? Kind of is like my business for sure, I feel. Because here I do need both. I need to do a lot of things in a material way. And I wanted to have an impact on me materially as well. And trying to make my living like that. But then also it is a spiritual path for me, sharing this art form. Makes it feel good to think about it like this. And to connect to both of those energies. Okay. I could add more, but I'm going to halt here for now. Now we can go back into color. And I invite you to just pick whichever colors I think I would like to invite us to stick with those 7, but if you feel like there needs to be a different color in there, then by all means, trust your feeling. I'm just going to explore the surrounding now. Now that I know that there's some things happening, kind of just want to extend the red here, for example. But I invite you to really trust your intuition. Approach any of these circles or even the space between the circles with your colors, and you can just connect to the color and the feeling it gives you. Of course, if you have prior knowledge about the chakra system and all these ideas behind it, they will have an influence here. They will maybe guide your hand. They will maybe help you understand the things. And here I already know, as I said, I want this to have a material impact in my life. I want this to be very palpable. But on the other hand, I also want to be inspired. So I can have both. I can allow myself to have both. And I feel that it also has a very, like impact on my understanding of myself. In the NeuroMandala course, we will go into more of the meanings between the chakras, or like these colors. But for today, I really invite you to just trust your intuition. And as I said, most of us, we've heard of those before, and there is some kind of idea of what all of this means. But really just trusting whatever wants to come up there. And then, of course, you can look at the drawing and interpret it later if you wish to. I'm even going to go all the way in here, connecting. And then, as I said, we can also think about what energy does surround us. Is it like spiritual energy? Are you involved in spiritual groups or something, for example? No, are you in spiritual places? Then you can, of course, bring those energies into your surrounding. You can bring any energy into your surrounding. You can bring the energy of the heart, or this connecting. You can bring this very material energy. Whatever it is, just really trusting. And we're going to just give this, well, let's give it maybe 15 minutes to really explore. And you can also go into the wheels, making the color more bright in some spaces if you feel like it. Color can connect to the outside. And just allowing yourself to flow and experience these colors. Experience your surroundings and your life with the help of color. If at any point you feel that you want to add another line or another circle, you're also allowed to do that. I just want to say that since I'm on this step already, but if you feel that you want to go back around some more, add another line, add another circle, you're absolutely invited to do that as well. Just reminding everyone to breathe, to be with yourself. I feel like my throat really a lot. Drawing all this blue here, paying attention to what happens inside of you with these colors. And maybe you feel that you're strongly connected to some of them. And oh, one more reminder, we don't have to color everything. So we're just going to go and emphasize certain things. And you can also really feel into the contrasts. What happens when certain things are next to each other? How do they influence each other? How do they connect? I have the orange and the blue, the sacral and the throat, which in my point of view, my understanding are very closely connected, and I can really feel this connection. It's like our creative and our expressive. They are connected. And strengthening this in here a little bit more. Allow yourself to not think about it too much. Just pick the color that wants to be picked. And sometimes colors might even want to flow into each other, being closely connected, especially the ones that are right next to each other. And every now and then, just taking a little pause, gazing at your picture, at the combinations of colors that come out. For some reason, I do feel like I want to literally color almost everything. Usually I like to leave some white spaces. So that's also up to you. There is no right or wrong. wherever you feel that you want to color, just go and do it. Now I have this one area back here. I don't know, maybe I'll leave it. Blue. And then whenever you have a moment to pause, I invite you to really just be with your picture for a moment and explore how those different sides of you kind of perceive the world around. It's very interesting. I had on the side where my kind of spiritual side, I experienced the world around me as a spiritual world. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I added a lot of purple here, and it felt really good and nurturing and felt like a world that I wanted to be in. And there was like some vision, some of the dark blues, and then interestingly, a lot of the light blue as well, a lot of expression. For me, a world that I approach with my spiritual side is also a world that is very expressive, has a lot of the throat chakra energy in it. And then on the other side, the red, the first color that I added was red as well, because it felt really good to get in tune with this energy where I feel aligned. I feel like when I approach the material world in a way where I embody this energy, then I can get more in tune with it. So I invite you kind of just to look at and feel into how you experience your life, the things around you, the world around you in these colors. And whatever interpretations come up for you, as I said, like I'm not going to go deeply into the theory here. So I hope that me just mentioning here and there little things might spark some ideas for you. Just being with it for a moment and looking, really learning to look at the things, at the connections that are created And if, of course, you know the meanings behind some of the circles, you can also look at that and feel into these. It's kind of nice. My business circle here has this material energy, but it also really has a spiritual side, has a side where it's all about trusting my inner guidance, trusting my visions, and then it has a very empowering side for me. So I can look at that. I invite you to just take a deep breath, maybe. I'm gonna sip on my coffee. And if the things don't make sense immediately, you can ask yourself questions. You can just ask, what does that mean for you? I really felt like I wanted to have some green in my surrounding. I wanted to have some green energy, some heart energy, some parts where I can really connect with my heart. And so it felt really good to bring that in there. And interestingly, again, the blue wanted to come. And for me, of course, that does tell me a story. So asking yourself, what story does your drawing tell you? What are the stories that come up for you? The connections that you have with these colors. Okay, now let us connect it both together, because we as a whole human being, we do of course incorporate both sides. Now I'm going to go with a thicker marker. Every one of my students, you know what's coming now. I'm going to draw a thicker line going from any edge to any other edge. It can go its completely own path, or it can also follow pathways that are already there. Kind of feel like I want to maybe follow this one. So what I do and what I feel into when I draw this line is really this kind of connecting my spiritual and my material side as one. I'm going to go and follow this line all the way in. I feel like maybe going around here. And then following a line out. And as I said, you can also just allow it its own pathway. And if you don't have a thicker pen, you can just go over this line several times. I still like to do that even if I do have a thick pen. Just kind of feeling the flow of energy here. And I can, of course, ask myself, where does this one go? Which parts of me, which parts of my surrounding, which parts maybe of my work, of my being in this world, does it connect? I'm really experiencing this as connecting. And it already still tells me a story again. Because here I have the greens and the orange that I don't have in this circle, and it's connecting with it. We can add several of those lines if we want to. I feel that I also want to go from here. I'm going to go again, moving with the flow of my line. Kind of going up there again. I wanted to move over here. Now I have several lines up here. Interesting. And again, just feeling the movement, the flow of the line. through my life, through me, through my surrounding, connecting everything together into one flow, one life. And then what I like to do, and I recommend that, is I go along this line and round, making sure that my line is connected to everything else. So here really the rounding can help us to bring this energy together, connect it all into one, connect myself and the things that I do in my life, that I experience, the surrounding that I'm in, into this flow. I'm kind of feeling a ease. Like for me, it kind of brings this feeling of flow, that things don't have to be hard. I don't have to try hard. I can just let it be. I can just let it come whenever it's ready. And then I have this area here where the things flow together, interestingly, where I have my work, my business, my kind of mission. And there it all makes sense. A lot of my life energy flows into this. So I feel that I really want to take care of it. I want to connect it. I want to nurture it. And we can do that with these lines. Now I'm also kind of thinking of that it's like sitting on top of me, interestingly. You can also pay attention to that. Where are the important elements? Are they on one side? Are they on top, on the bottom? And what does that tell you? What story comes up in your mind when you look at that? And I really like to give this time, really paying attention where it goes, how it's connecting everything together. How it can tap into this feeling of connectedness. And at last, we can, of course, ask ourselves, what was important now in this drawing? What came out with maybe a little message for you, an insight? And for me, it's very obvious because I already have so much energy up here in this. So this is the one that I will emphasize. You can emphasize any of the circles that you drew, or you can also emphasize your entire mandala or part of your mandala. If, for example, I could also emphasize the heart area here, for example, or emphasize another area here, or emphasize my entire mandala. But for me, this circle up here is the most important, and I will emphasize it with a fat line. And again, if you don't have an extra fat pen, then just go over it several times. making it stand out, making it to where when I look at this drawing, I'm immediately reminded of all the things that came up for me when I made this circle. And then last thing, I want to go and connect here again, just making sure that it's rounded. And here I can again kind of just feel into what it feels like. I can feel my heart, kind of really feel how it's going inside of me. How it touches me on the different layers, or how it's connected to different colors. Mm. And I even have a little kind of figure in there, interestingly. Mm. So this is the very first NeuroMandala that I wanted to share. And I hope it resonated with you to look at these two different energies that we carry. I mean, we obviously carry more different energies, but Pavel focuses on these two ways in which we connect with the world. And I kind of wanted to experiment with that today. As I said, in the NeuroMandala course, we will look deeper into the meanings of these different colors, the frequencies of it, the connection that they have with our chakra system, with the glandular system as well, the functions that they can have in our lives. And I think literally all the drawings, almost all the drawings, are going to work with the rainbow. In different ways, though. I decided to actually give some of them more space. So this mandala course will actually have 5 meetings, basically. Usually the courses are 4 weeks, but because we have the ancestral mandala, I wanted to give that one more space. Some of you may have already experienced that with me. The ancestral mandala is a mandala that usually is taught in the mandala course. I decided to take it out of that course and give it its own space because it is a very intense work where we work with our ancestors, with 7 generations in a mandala. And I like to present that in a setting that is, in my point of view, more coherent. I don't even know if that works. But yeah, a more like a safer space, I'm gonna call it. It's a ceremony, what I call an art ceremony. So we have that one as an extra to our workshop, on top of the just normal 4 classes, which means that we're going to have more time for the content of the 4 classes as well, because I take that one out. We're going to work with many different layers in this mandala course. Of course, first of all, we look at ourselves. No? So we're going to draw personal mandalas. Then we're also going to draw mandalas that represent connection with other people, for example, connection with other things in our lives. And we will, through the mandala, have a a way of seeing how and where we meet, how and where the energies are connected. This course is really, for me, I think one of the most spiritual courses that Pavel created, because we are working on this kind of multi-dimensional level where we see ourselves not just in like one color, but we see ourselves in these 7 colors, and we can connect to these different levels of ourselves. Yeah, so if you want to know more about the course, I'm just going to say, check out the website. You can always ask me questions as well. And I want to invite everyone to join the NeuroMandala course. This course is for anyone who has done the basic user course, and for my students, even if you don't have the certificate yet, you can totally join the course. We make this an advanced course because it kind of builds on the general rules of Neurographica. So you should be familiar with the basic algorithm, and yeah, we're going into deeper stuff. And yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this first kind of just exploration of the color, the exploration of how we can connect with color in different ways. And I'm really, really looking forward to teaching that. So I invite everyone, and I wish you all a colorful, colorful day.